Soundstripe. Welcome to South End supporters of St. Louis City SC podcast, powered by Radio Live Wellness, and coming at you from the Warrior Logo Wear Studios. Eric Cole alongside the Monday morning center back Dave Wyckoff, as our buddy DH is out again with Scarlett. Another game, big playoff game. Hopefully she can pull this one out. I think he was saying they're not looking so good going into this one. But today we got our STL Kalachi preview of CF Montreal coming up, as well as some great South End submissions as always. But before we get into that, Dave, how are we doing today?
It is Wednesday afternoon, so it's really weird to be recording not on a Monday night and like also when the sun is out.
Dude,
it's very strange.
Been thrown off all day on what day it is as
well.
Yeah,
I thought it was Thursday.
Yeah.
I asked you if you were ready based on your Thursday schedule. It's not Thursday at all.
Which I honestly, the thing I appreciated most is how well you knew my Thursday schedule, because you had it down to like everything that was going on, and I was like,
yeah.
But then that put me in a panic of like, oh my god, I do have those things. I got to get going. I was like, oh no, we're good today, and especially being off.
No, it is strange, and I'm still getting work emails that are like chiming in still, and I don't know how to turn the notifications off. So, apologies if that's pinging through, but unfortunately, the podcasting gig doesn't pay bills, so more of a hobby than anything.
Yeah. We gotta maybe like start figuring out how we could incorporate that into our jobs to where then we can just have
I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard. I can't find a place for the insurance game, a place in the insurance game for MLS soccer. I just can't do it. I don't think it exists. Maybe in the fitness world. But yeah, the insurance game, it's a boring bunch, not gonna lie.
Speaking of boring bunch, that has what could be the setup for this week's game, as you got probably, like we said on last week's earlier in the week's episode, maybe the most probably the least talked about team, I would say, within the MLS. I feel like you just never hear anything on Montreal. No real standout players, I would say, as far as like high name DP sort of stuff. Almost kind of, I would say, like a City-esque as far as that goes, where a lot of their DPs outside of their own fan base maybe aren't familiar with or anything like that. Just a struggling team. For a while was sitting bottom of the East. Can kind of have put together a couple performances, but nothing outrightish. Still going to be just, I think, kind of looking at the same with City, kind of just looking to see what they can maybe build off for next year.
Mm-hmm.
This year's a wash. But anything stand out to you as far as this Montreal team?
Well, they're from Montreal. That stands out.
We got that part right.
We got that. We figured that. I mean, it's essentially in MMA they have what are called title eliminators, when you have guys that are like, top 4, top 5 face off, and the next one gets the title shot. This is a wooden spoon eliminator. So the loser essentially moves up the rankings, and who will potentially take home the wooden spoon. But yeah, it's a similar story to City. They give up a crap ton of goals, and
don't score a lot.
They don't. Well, I mean, City have scored 10 goals in their last 5 matches. So, got that going for them. Just can't keep the ball out of the net. Haven't kept a clean sheet in 20 matches. Montreal haven't kept a clean sheet in 13, and they've scored 7 in their last 5. So, I mean, the stage is set for maybe at least an exciting game, because City's kind of short of the Houston game. Really interested in going forward, and as long as the other team doesn't go down a man, they seem to create realistic chances without just 50 crosses. So these two teams have never played each other, which there can't be that many teams in the MLS that City hasn't played yet. Maybe Montreal might be the last one.
I think they'd probably be the last.
Yeah, I'd have to check on that, but it's few and far between. But City are going in healthy still. We can't use that excuse anymore, which is it's good. I'm not sure if guys like Joyner will be back. I assume they will be because the international break is wrapping up. So we hope he's back. He might not get any time because he's been traveling, and maybe try to preserve his legs a little more. But it's a game that if it wasn't on the road, I would say that City should win it. But their road efforts have been so uneven, and sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. And traveling all the way to Canada doesn't inspire a ton of confidence, but I think in a vacuum they have been playing well enough to where they should beat a team like Montreal even on the road. I mean, that's should. The word should is carrying a lot of weight there. Should they should do a lot of things better, but I don't know, man. At this point I don't know what to expect, which team to show up. And by which team, I mean which City team to show up.
Right. Well, let's get into that. Like you kind of brought up, let's just take Sangbin and Joyner out of the equation as far as like getting back from international duty, most likely with even more travel and all that type of stuff. Most likely looking to just rest those guys for that instance. What starting 11 would you like to see out there currently? I feel like maybe very similar to what we saw, last week. I think, especially with Sangbin being out, I feel like Celio just kind of fits right back into that role. But then Celio prefers being out on the left. So does Hartle. Does that work with, one being out on the right? What would you like to see as far as a starting 11 that you just feel like could get something done?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably going to look pretty similar to that last team. I wouldn't mind seeing Ostrak instead of Durkin. Like I just at this point, Chris Durkin, he's a known quantity, and he's just not reliable enough with the ball, and he's just too frenetic in the midfield. So I don't understand what Ostrak did to lose that spot. That's kind of what it's a little bit befuddling to me. The back line, I think you stay with the same Padelford, Fall, Kessler, Wallum. I know there's a lot of people that are clamoring for Totland. No, thank you. I've been down that until he's ready to start going forward, like with reckless abandon. Then I got nothing for him. Front line, I'm fine with Hartle, Klaus, and Celio again. And if they do decide to rest Mackay and Sangbin, that would make sense. But I don't see why you couldn't throw Sangbin right back in there, for Betcher. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just want to see. I want to see effort. I want to see competitive fire, and I think that getting Ostrak and Sangbin on the field go a long way to achieving that.
Yeah. You brought in an interesting point to say, like, you don't know what Ostrak did to lose that starting role and then what maybe Durkin is doing to maintain that starting role. Let's just say you're City's manager at this point. Are you putting more emphasis on a player who seems to just always show up for trainings, which is what you probably get more looks at, and is performing so much better in training over the person that he's competing with, and just somehow the past couple of games has seemed to struggle when it comes to game time? Whereas you have another player who is getting beat in training but shows up game days and has been, flying. I'm just throwing, what could be these reasons. So, like, let's just use Ostrak and Durkin for example. I'm not saying this is what's going on. I'm just using them as filling in for this question. Let's just say Durkin's killing it in training. And it seems like since coming back from injury, he's still just struggled to kind of get his legs and everything back underneath him. Whereas Ostrak has been doing pretty well out on the field. Whereas what if Ostrak's struggling in training, and that's why Durkin's getting the start? If you're that manager in charge, what would you almost put more of your emphasis on in that situation? Would it be what you notice during the 90, or are you looking at the training and that's what prompts your decision making?
God, you have to take both of them into account, but I think what matters most is the product on the field. I mean, there are plenty of players that are, training ground heroes, and then players that get into the game and just kind of can't handle the moment. And
Yes.
to me, Ostrak gives you a better chance to win when he's on the field than Durkin does right now. So, yeah, I'd say product on the field for me is important. I mean, I can't imagine that Ostrak is like not showing up or mailing it in at training. I mean, the guy goes 110 miles an hour when he's on the field. So, yeah. I don't know. I think that this game is so hard to pick because I don't know what the interest level is for them at this point.
Right.
Both teams. And I know that City have been pressing forward, scoring 2 goals a game for their last 5. I think they can just outlast Montreal in this one. So I'll say that City win this one 3-2.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Saying what do they? I think really to not have a relegation battle. The really thing is the pride as far as just trying not to get the wooden spoon. I mean, who cares if you're second to last? Nobody's going to remember that stat. They'll just remember if you were dead last, and that could just be the really only motivator for these teams towards the bottom. That the playoff picture is looking, pretty much out of realm at this point. So, yeah, I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be goals scored. I think it's maybe going to be sloppy, but it'll be back and forth. I think Montreal feel like they need to win because they're at home. City feel like they need to win because I think really realistically, I do think that they are maybe the better team. I'm going to go just a 2-2 draw. I think it'll be a draw, though, where we'll battle back to get the points on the road, not necessarily what we've come to know.
No, that would be rare. That would be a surprise to me because that's coming back and getting points rather than giving them up. It'd be a nice change.
Yeah, it would be. Show me something a little different if we're going to have this boring battle going down. Show me a little change in there. But again, that game will be this Saturday, September 13th. A little earlier time, 6:30 time kickoff. City will be taking on CF Montreal. And again, that was brought to you by STL Kalachi. Make sure you go check out STL Kalachi at 1530 South Kirkwood Road in St. Louis for some delicious kolaches. Always a great treat, no matter what option you go with. So many different options, and they've been doing here lately on their socials where they've been doing almost like what do they call that? The cross section or whatever, where they rip it in half and you get to see just straight down the middle of it, and it's just like every time.
Yeah.
Just like,
I'd like to volunteer to make it a bite cross section, and I'll just take a big old bite out of it, and then they can do with whatever. And then I'll volunteer off of that if they want to keep with the rip in half, you're not selling those, so clearly I will take those off their hands. Half price even. Half price.
Yeah. If you ripped it in half, I'll pay for half. So there we go. Yeah.
There you go.
So that was STL Kalachi. Again, check them out at 1530 South Kirkwood Road. Next, we'll be moving on to the Felix's Pizza Pub, South End Submissions, brought to you, of course, by Felix's Pizza Pub. It's a great City on Tap bar. Perfect place to go check out any City game. I even saw that they were running a cool deal where I think you got like a free Chicago dog for the Bears first.
Yeah, I saw that. Monday Night Football.
Or something like that. Yeah, so they're always doing cool stuff there. But it's a great City on Tap bar. Delicious food, great pizza, great wings. I think they just got another award at this last Wing Ding competition, so you're not going to regret going and checking it out and watching some great games at 6401 Clayton Avenue in Dogtown. So we'll kick this one off. I'll start on Facebook with that guy, Gorski, Zach Gorski. He said, these podcast wars are getting a little out of control at this point. Are you sure it's only Jay Clem? Whoever these jack weasels are, completely canceled multiple shows, need to feel the wrath of the SES. I'm glad this season is a wash. We need our complete focus on this. I'm thinking whoever the other podcast top supporters show up at our end of season battle royale. And let me just tell you, good luck. We have a gentleman with an entire combat corner dedicated to him. If that's not enough, watch out for our fan of the match. I will personally do anything to defend the double MCB and his goons. Gorski is just a ride or die all the way.
He is.
Through.
God love him. Bless his heart. Jack Weasel. I will be working that into my lexicon at this point. The podcast Jack Weasels.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I
like it.
I miss, the old timey put downs like back in the day, like, the Jack Weasels or, whatever like basically anything. If you watch the Three Stooges and they were making fun of somebody, it's just like we need to
Numbskull.
Yeah, we need to bring all those old school ones back. They just
I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's your favorite old timey insult word?
Ooh, yeah, let's go through it.
Old timey. Numbskull. That one got thrown around a lot.
Numbskull is a good one. Are we talking like when we were kids, or like even well before all that? Like,
I mean, just whatever. I've looked these up before, and they're pretty hilarious.
do you have a particular one that's one of your favorites?
I mean, I know that people used to call people waterheads. I'm not really sure what that is in reference to. I hope it's not offensive.
Yeah, I know.
Nimrod, that's a good one. I just got on Reddit because these things don't bounce around in my head all the time until we start talking to them.
I know, right? Nimrod.
Dingbats.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we used to say like dingwads or something like that when we were younger. Like, yeah, man, it was just. I also love like back when you were a kid and somebody called you something like that, and you'd still get that like, oh man, he called you that. Like, oh, dude, taking things personal back then.
They just insults don't hit if there's no like vulgarity in them anymore. It just doesn't work. Like, not
as an adult.
You call somebody a dipshit and it sticks. Like if I call somebody a dingbat, I don't think that has the same cachet.
Although I did see something the other day that made me laugh. It was like I'm more offended, or I take it more personally when I'm driving and somebody gives me a thumbs down than giving me the middle finger. And I was like, you're right. Like,
who's giving thumbs downs in 2025?
That's just like, yeah, that's like you're so bad. Like just the thumbs down. Like I would take more offense to that than somebody just flipping me off. But like, yeah, we need to bring back the old ones because there's like a nice little peaceful exchange almost whenever you leave being called a dingbat or a what was his again? It was the weasel.
Jack Weasels.
Jack Weasel, that's what it was. Yeah,
I think
we'll bring them.
I feel like that's what I was thinking about, like what the fan base, like not the fan base because we don't have fans, listeners. But like, there's a podcast that I listen to, a fantasy football podcast that the guy calls the listeners the possums. You know what I mean? Like just weird little like gimmicky like, hey, we're the whatever. I want to know what the South End supporter listeners would be.
Yeah, I've always wondered that too, because like I can't. Normally it's just like whatever the last word is in the show or something. They play it on that. Like we can't just call them the supporters because I mean that's so broad. Like
it would be a term of endearment, but South End slobs would fit. Yeah. But I don't want to insult people by calling them slobs. Although like to me it's a term of endearment.
I would. Yeah, I would want to be a part of that. But then again, now anymore, you got so many ride or dies like Gorski on this that I just always refer to them as the Monday morning center back pack because they stay together and boy, they ride strong when they.
That sounds like David's worst nightmare for me to have like a dedicated group of people that are named for me. Like I feel like we'd never see him again if that actually happened.
No. That'll hopefully people will write that in for the next, or maybe
there's a verbal South End submission for next week. What should the listener base be referred to as?
Should we like? There's the Swifties, the Beehive. What is everybody else? What is the South End supporter group?
Yeah, I like it.
Next, we'll go to Tommy Beck, and so we had some prompts on this week's. Episode. So the prompts were toughest sport to do basic things, favorite things about fall and autumn, and why does a round pizza come in a square box? So do you want us to kind of give our answers and then we'll read through everybody else's?
Let's do that. Let's do that first.
Do? Yeah. All right. So toughest sport to do basic things in. So
this is okay. And this was I tested this one out at work. And immediately everyone went to hockey. And because most normal people don't know how to skate, and obviously, like, if you can't skate, you can't do anything basic in hockey. So, like, assuming that, and it's hard to caveat this in 144 characters or whatever, but for the sake of streamlining it, let's use that skating is just an assumed skill. Like, right, it's just like running, you know what I mean? It's like, if you assume, like, if you're athletic, then you can skate, which obviously I know is not true because it involves balance and whatnot. I tested it out at work, and I got all kinds of different answers, man, like, from, like, super, like, niche sports to the mainstream. Like, it was, and you know, going through the different platforms was the same thing. We had, like, Olympic level stuff, the four majors, you know, stuff like that. Level. So what do you think?
I think the one that maybe always jumps out to us a lot of times is hitting a baseball, like, in the major leagues. Like, I think it seems like it should be a basic skill, ball comes up. But then again, like, I think if I underhand tossed 10 balls to Kristen, she's missing 9 out of 10 of them. So, I mean, it's, you know, that I don't know if that's necessarily a basic thing, being able to hit a baseball.
Well, it's maybe a basic part of that sport, though. That's what I mean. Right. Like, that's a basic part of that sport. Like, and the way that I think of it is like, okay, you take the sport and, like, okay, baseball, throw, hit, catch. Those are the 3 basic things.
I like that breakdown.
Football, punt, pass, throw, punt, pass, run, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baseball's tough. I
think putting and golf is, like, people think it's so gimme until you
reading greens. Yeah, because people think that it's just about lining it up and making it. It's like, no, it's reading greens. It's reading, you know, the slope. It's reading the curve. It's reading the speed. Like, it's absolutely. That's a great one.
I think because a lot of times people associate, they just think, I played putt. So what's the big difference? Right. You don't realize, like,
right.
It's like you've got basically bumpers there. You don't have to worry about speed because it's going to just bounce and then come back. And then, I mean, you're more trying to avoid rock obstacles than anything. So you're not having to worry about, like, how's this going to slope or anything like that. But I remember the first time I played golf, that was the biggest opener to me. I'm thinking, like, the hardest part's going to be obviously driving and chipping and all that. And don't get me wrong, those were extremely difficult. But what I thought was going to be the basic part of it that caught me way off guard was putting. And I was like, oh, my God, this is – because you watch it on TV, and it's one of those things I think that you take for granted where when you're watching it on TV and they're like, he's got a 6-foot putt, you're thinking, well, that's a gimme. And then you're thinking, like, 6-foot putt's not necessarily a gimme at times.
Yeah.
And so, maybe that one. I'm trying now to, like, because I wasn't even thinking, like, Olympic sports. Like, that's a good – but half the Olympic sports, I don't think any of those are basic. Like, there's no, like, basicness to
I think in terms of, like, hockey, like, having the coordination to skate and stick handle at the same time are – and a lot – and I think a lot of – we give a lot more – we recognize a lot more difficulty in basic things of sports that we don't do. So I've never played hockey at any sort of realistic level. So to me, somebody that can skate really fast and stick handle and shoot is kind of is just wild to me.
All while getting cracked on the ice by the opposing. Like, you know,
I will tell you, I will tell you mine that you and I have discussed a lot, and it's your specialty sport. I cannot for the life of me figure out how someone does an ollie in skating. I can't do it. I've been trying to do it for 25 years, trying to figure out the mechanics of it. I know it's been explained to me before. You've explained it to me. I can't do it. I can't figure out how you, without lifting from the bottom of the skateboard, how you get the goddamn skateboard to hop up, and then much less to hop up, than to, like, grind ledges and flip it around. Not just skating, but, like, the X Games style sports in general have always amazed me that is what those athletes can do. But yeah, just the most basic thing, like just ollie. Can't do it. Yeah, can't figure it out.
well, even just rolling, I think is always a shot to me where I'm like, here, go roll, and then I'll see the step on, and I'm like, oh, we're not even moving yet, man. It's like I don't know about like I think you're right. Anytime it comes to like coordination, that's why I do think hockey's a really good shout, because you're throwing in not only just the skating, but then the hand-eye coordination you need for that stick handling on a slick surface. But then you throw in the physical element of knowing like you have to be constantly looking up because somebody will and hope to crack you at any minute is crazy to me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that's crazy. And like Olympic sports, the thing that's just weird, I think would be the hardest for me as far as basic things is just understanding the rules, like high or any of those. It's like I don't understand the rules to that.
In the soccer world. You know, one of the things that is always like, it has amused me, but it also just, it kind of baffles me. And maybe it's just because it's what we've done the most. But like, you can be the most like coordinated, amazing athlete in the world, professional football, basketball, baseball, whatever. And there's just dozens and dozens of videos of like these super athletes. And I've seen it like just growing up with people that, the moment that they go to kick a soccer ball, they look like an epileptic giraffe. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess I take it for granted because we do it all the time, but it's very funny. Like watching people who have never played any sport try to do basic things is way more amusing than it should be. Like, you see all the videos of like the people that they pick out for like free throw contests that have never shot a basketball before. Or the people who throw out first pitches that have never thrown a baseball before.
Dude, I was gonna say the one that sticks into my mind is like anytime I'll see like these or these like basketball players so athletic or whatever it is, and then you hand them a football and watch them throw it, and you're like, huh? Like what? Like how is that your throw? Or the same with like watching like some player come over and they're like, oh, you're just going to take a PK. And it's just like, oh my God. Like I would almost say like, if you're talking like just specifically soccer, maybe like taking a PK. I think it just looks so basic and you're thinking you're this close, but like when you're in that situation, holding nerves and then also trying to get with force in a corner on a target while the goalie is,
kicking a field goal was another popular one. Mm-hmm. Like just kicking a routine field goal. Like people think kicking a football is some easy thing. It's not. No, and it's not like kicking a soccer ball at all.
No, and I tried to explain that to my dad all the time. My dad he'd just be like, well, God, if you got out there, you could hit a 60. I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about? Like, it's a completely different ball, and it's like he just associated the two, like, went hand in hand. Or since I work out, he was like, oh, you'll go crush a golf ball. And it's like, well, it's not just brute strength. Like, there's so many things that go into like those types of things to like. It's like we would never get an accurate distance anyway because my ball is constantly slicing off to the right, so it's never going to be like you never be able to figure out that. But yeah, those are some good ones. Favorite thing about fall/autumn, I think, being from the Midwest, obviously the 2 weeks of beautiful weather we get, as well as like the scenery. I love there's like a drive that I get like going from my house to the gym that is just like these windy country roads, and seeing those like when the leaves change and everything, it's just like, oh man, like that's so scenic. But I almost think the sweet tooth in me is like the different flavors that come out during fall time. And I'm not a pumpkin spice guy, so like that doesn't do it for me. But like I've said it before, like outside of chocolate peanut butter, I think caramel apple is like one of my favorite flavor combinations there is, and you only really see a lot of that during fall. So I think just the also like Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. So like just that whole feel of fall is a good time. I think it's one of you always hear people say like, what's your favorite season, especially in the Midwest, and it typically comes down to like fall. But I think it's a lot to do with the weather, but for me also just the different flavors and like the fashion, I guess, that comes with it. You can start throwing on some flannels and jeans and stuff and be comfortable, but we're in that tricky time now where it's like wear a sweater in the morning and by 11 a.m. you're regretting that decision.
Yeah, you named a lot of really good ones. I think mine is the change in weather. I think the autumn hellscape that is the Midwest, moving into warm during the day, cool at night. Hoodies, quarter zips. Yeah, that's my. And then the sports calendar turns, and it's a really strong
Ooh, yes,
sporting. My opinion is that basically September, October is the best. October is probably the best sports month, in my opinion, because you've got playoff baseball, NFL's in swing, hockey starts up, soccer, European soccer's full bore now. Champions League starts up. Those, and then
even MLS
playoffs. I'll
Pictures
MLS playoffs.
coming
I don't know what that's like. David's is pumpkin spice. That's his. We'll
So I
just go
always
and answer
forgot,
for
like,
him.
if I was getting him mixed up with Roberts, because I know Roberts, Jesus, like
Well, Roberts is Halloween. That's
I
his
know that,
100%. Yeah.
the second, like, there just happened to be a slim, cool breeze, our fridge was stocked full of O'Fallon pumpkin beer. Like, it was just like he waited for the day that like most people wait for pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks. He waits for O'Fallon pumpkin beer to hit the
His time to
shelves.
shine.
Yeah, that's when he came out to play. Yeah. And then the last one we had was, why does round pizza come in a square box?
This was just it wasn't the best thought exercise one, but this was it just made me chuckle. It seemed very femny-ish, and I miss femny. And
whatever.
the answer is people took it way too seriously. People took it way too
Oh,
seriously.
did they give like logical answers?
Yeah, like get out of here with your logical answers, everybody. I did think it was interesting that, the thought did cross my mind though that square pizza also comes in a square box. Emo's comes in a square box, so that makes sense to me. But can a guy get a round box around here? Can somehow some kind of round delivery system? Probably not.
I feel like no, because you're right. Emo's their space, but it's thin crust. Like, I feel like you need like a little gap to get that first slice out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a circle box, you're not getting those fingers all the way unless you shorten up that pizza. Nobody wants that. They want all the pizza they can get. That, and I feel like it would just be too easy when you have people over. Like, you've got a built-in pizza frisbee at that point. So couch to couch, you're just tossing that box around, and everybody grabs their slice. I like to think that that's the reason that they were like, oh no, too many people are tossing our pizzas around, man.
I have to mention this because you said you have to have the room to get your fingers to get the slice of the pizza. So if there was no room, then you'd conceivably have to start in the middle, right? But if you do it now, you're a serial killer. My son starts in the middle. He's a sociopath.
What?
He'll get he'll get like a little 10-inch Emo's pizza and he'll start in the middle. I'm like, you're sick, dude. That's dangerous. That's like socially dangerous is what that is.
I was gonna say,
You don't start in the middle. That's how wars start.
Is that his way of like claiming multiple pizzas?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just like, well, I've touched this one and this one.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's asserting dominance is what he's doing.
Yeah.
I got problems, man.
I thought my kid was bad. My youngest, she eats pizza backwards and upside down. So she starts crust first while holding it with the cheese.
So I get that though. I get the upside down because that puts the toppings directly on your tongue. I get that part of it.
Yeah,
I struggle with that with some foods, not necessarily pizza, but I struggle with the concept of some foods like, why do I want the best part? Like, I will turn my burgers upside down so I can get the toppings that are on top of the food.
Yeah.
I get the taste of them first.
I saw
Maybe
this on a
that's-
podcast.
maybe
the
that's
other
too
day
much. I don't know.
Talking about burgers upside down. When you eat a burger, and let's just say you are eating it straight up. When you go to put it back down, do you put it back right side up, or do you
No, I'll
set
put it upside down, man.
So you do.
I mean,
set it
it's
down
not
upside
like
down.
it's not like I'm making like a stand. Like I have to turn the burger upside, but I'll turn it upside down. Yeah,
No, I mean
absolutely.
a lot. Apparently, that's how people like. It's a 50-50 discussion on when people
Yeah.
set their burgers down. Do they set them down the way they were, or do they flip them over? And I started, once they said it, I was like, oh, it does make sense to just then grab it and go right back to your way, putting it upside down. So yeah, those are good ones. So we'll go to Tommy Beck. He said, is it bad that the first thought that came to mind when Dallas went down a man early was really interested to see how City manages to drop points on this one? No, it's not sad, because I think we said on
the only one.
The episode that we were waiting for it as well. He said, hardest sport to do basic things has to be golf. Seeing world-class athletes struggle to hit a ball straight is proof enough for me. Round pizzas come in square boxes because of the strong lobbyists that big square box has at their disposal. Now those are the answers we're looking for.
Those are the answers we want right
those
there.
Are the answers we're looking for.
Square, big square box has the market cornered on pizza box shapes, and I won't stand for it anymore. I will not stand. I will not abide only square boxes in the pizza world.
I wonder, are there like other people that do like take that, like get mad at that type of stuff? Like
you can pretty much guarantee that if there's something that people could take a stand for or against, no matter what it is, that someone is offended by the fact that there are no round pizza boxes. Guaranteed. Probably a whole group of people. There's probably a Facebook group. There's probably a movement, petitions to the government. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait until later, because none of the ones on my end said it. So I can't wait to hear what the actual reasons are later when you read some of the answers. But until
it's
then,
so logical.
Yeah, I know. We'll go to our man Ryan Cadlick, and of course he's got some Cadlick comment. But he said we made Houston look like Grimsby Town and played like Man United against Dallas. Now, why did we have to take that in there? He said, not much else to say about the games. Toughest sport to do basic things would be MMA or hockey. Favorite fall.
I didn't think about MMA. MMA is a good
I didn't
one.
Either. Favorite thing to do for fall is not having to cut the grass. That is a great one.
Oh, that is so underrated. That's a strong answer, Cadlick.
Strong one.
And but if you're in a neighborhood, if you have trees, then you're replaced by raking leaves, which I would argue, although you do it for a shorter amount of time, is more of a pain in the ass than cutting the grass.
No, that's a great point, because I hate, at our house, spring comes and then we have those stupid helicopter trees. So I have a million helicopters all in the backyard. Summer comes, I'm cutting the grass up and down hills, and then fall comes, and it doesn't matter how many, you'll look at all the trees and be like, they are completely bare. That next week, there will still be leaves from somewhere.
They're blown in from other neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's like, where are this coming from?
Do you remember my old house in Granite, and how we had that like weird like long like outdoor like foyer, and then it was attached garage, but you couldn't go directly from the house into the garage. There was like a little like outdoor hallway.
I do remember that.
Every leaf in the damn neighborhood ended up in that little breezeway. Guaranteed. Like the people would all blow them into the street, and they would end up in my yard and then in that breezeway for 10 years. Every leaf in Granite City, I think.
Yep. Every time I have a treadmill in my garage, and every time I go to fold it up, it just looks like a full leaf pile that my kids could jump in. It's just tucked underneath that thing, and it drives me bonkers every time. He said the battle is here for Dave's battle. This is Dave's battle right here. He said the battle is here of the insurance agent mascot. He said as a special rule, each battle will have a random little dog with a red balloon running around. I think
it's a red umbrella. It's a red umbrella, Cadlick. Jesus.
Same rules as always. We've got 1v8, 2v7, 3v6, and 4v5. So how about, since there's two of us, I'll let you... If you're in between on one, I'll make the decision, but I'll let you kind of run with your instinct.
Okay, that's good. That's a good compromise.
Right. So we've got Flo from Progressive taking on Mayhem from Allstate.
Oh, it's Mayhem. Man, Mayhem's got to be the favorite to win this thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he look at everything that he has
he's
done
Mayhem.
to him. You think you're going to do more to him than what is already been done?
Definitely not Flo.
No. Then we've got the General from General Insurance taking on Gecko from Geico.
Oh, man. It's got to be the General. Geico's, he's tiny. He's so small.
Yeah, I feel like he'd have the agility on his side, but I think the military experience I'm hoping the General brings would, he'd have.
But he's also, he's also like a 8-inch tall gecko. Like size is a major factor here.
He is going to be riding in on a dog with a red umbrella though, so
it's a little dog, and it's a little dog, and he's not aggressive.
Yeah, I can't picture that. Next, we do have an interesting one. Emu from Liberty taking on Jake from State Farm.
This is easy. This is the emu. Read about the Great Australian Emu War and tell me that animal wouldn't kick anybody's ass.
They are so scary. Like
yes.
that is like when they always talk about like how we picture dinosaurs wrong because most of them were covered in feathers. That's exactly what I pictured. Just obviously dinosaurs are way bigger, but like they're so ferocious, and that claw that they have, from what I hear, will just rip you open. So yeah, crazy. And then we've got Professor Burke from Farmers Insurance taking on Caveman from Gecko as our final first round.
I'll take my friend, the Geico Caveman, who I have partied with.
What?
Yeah. Spring break 2007, we were down in Panama City Beach with some of the boys, and we ended up at a Yin Yang Twins concert. Don't ask me how. It was sponsored by Geico, and the Geico Caveman was in the VIP, and we got tickets to this thing through some random beach contest that included VIP passes to this club, and our buddy Alex and I went in and met and partied with the Geico Caveman. He was hammered.
And he just stayed, and he was in
the VIP with a bunch of women. And he he was at the bar, and we went and bought a drink, and he was just plastered. And then as he was walking out, he like acted like he was stealing the tip jar. The bartenders didn't think it was very funny. We thought it was hilarious.
Nice. So we'll go to our second round match.
This was pre-marriage, by the way. This was pre-marriage, so it wasn't doing this like 39 years old.
I'm still going to picture that.
Yeah.
So we've got the General is going to be taking on Mayhem.
Yeah, I got Mayhem.
Yeah, I got Mayhem as well. And then we've got Emu taking on the Caveman. This almost feels like what could be a actual prehistoric.
Yeah. Any other contest, this could be the final. But I'm sticking with Limu, man. Like, yeah, the Caveman. I mean, he does have some natural survival instincts, but I don't know. I think it's still Emu. I think it's still Limu.
Yeah, I think we gotta go Emu on that. Like
it's like a 6-foot tall dinosaur bird.
Yeah, and Caveman probably sees one of those animals and thinks like, oh, I'm gonna be able to take that down with whatever, and just gets completely messed up. So I'm with you. So I got a couple more, and then I'll send it over your way. Next one comes from Simone, somebody from R2L Wellness, actually, and she's bringing back up like a fun little topic, and I'm just curious to see if you've changed your answer. Is a hot dog a taco or a sandwich? So do you think that it is a sandwich still, or are you still wrong?
I refuse. We have settled this before. I don't think that we should revisit this, especially when there's only two of us. Simone, I'm sorry to disappoint, but this topic was settled last year, maybe. So
was it? I'm trying to think if it was year 1 or year 2. I'm trying to remember now.
Either way, it was settled.
We were in person. I remember.
What was it? It was a hot dog. The hot dog is a sandwich, and we settled that, and it was over, and we don't need to talk about it anymore. Do we need to take this to food court? Is that what this really needs? We need to take it to the food court.
I think this could be. I mean, we took it to the food court. I remember those years ago, and I remember.
But we settled out of court with that one. We need an actual judicial ruling, like David in a white wig with a gavel making an official, impartial ruling.
No, you're just saying that because David was on your side on that.
I think he was, but he has been known to rule. He has been known to side against me on things that he is in favor of just to be against me. And I've done the same thing. And it's a game we play, and it's fun.
That would be a very interesting food court. Does he want to, say what he thinks?
Yeah.
But then agree with you and give you the justification of being right.
Who would we file our appeals to if we disagree with the decision from the food court? Is there an appellate division? Do we have an appellate division of the food court? That's something to workshop. We'll hire it out.
Maybe we would need to find a representative of said food being argued over. Like we would send it into like Steve's and be like, "Hey, Steve."
That's so strong.
And then
that's such a strong idea. Yes.
Go from there.
Okay.
So each week, whatever we're debating, we would then
that's the higher. That's the higher and final authority if an appeal needs to be made. Yes.
We're not arguing with Steve Ewing on what he says.
No, absolutely not. If we need rulings on pizza or wings, we go to Felix's.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. You're brilliant.
Yep.
You're a brilliant man.
The problem is it only comes on the most useless of stuff. Like you put me in a classroom, I'm the dumbest of people.
It's all relative.
It's like, I think if you can ollie a skateboard, I think that's like this. What do they always say, like messy handwriting is a lot of times a sign of like creative people or something like that. Like I think like ollieing should be like a sign of somebody who's just not brilliant on the dumbest of things. Let's just put it that way.
You were painting skaters with a broad brush, and I did not do it. And you're the skater. I'm not the skater here. The 6'1" skate is the one painting all his people with a broad brush.
I said they're brilliant on. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking because every time I talk on this show, I have another group coming my way at me. So I think I'll just.
They're brilliant on 4 wheels, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, there we go. Last one I have on my end is from our buddies over at No Go Patrol. They said, SES, a couple weeks ago, I found an apple butter brats at local produce stand, and they were incredible, and it got me thinking. What are your guys' favorite brat flavor combos, and what combination would you like to see at an upcoming Oktoberfest celebration?
Ooh.
First off,
favorite
apple butter brat sounds
amazing. That's good. That's strong. Favorite brat flavor combo, Cordy Meat Market in Highland has mushroom and Swiss brats, and they are effing incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. That one's mine for sure. And that's the only place that I've found those. There's, some places you have like chili cheese, you have like bacon jalapeno. Those are all really great. But Cordy Meat Market mushroom Swiss are my favorite. There was also like was it like a blue cheese buffalo sauce? But that one wasn't as strong as the mushroom Swiss. Yeah. How about you?
I think the classic like jalapeno cheddar.
That's really
for me.
It's hard to beat.
The thing with brats, and that's what really makes me interested about this apple butter brat, is like that salty sweet combination sounds fantastic.
Yep.
And I never would have thought like apple butter like with a brat would be a combination they would do, but and what combination would you like to see at an upcoming Oktoberfest? I would like to see something where you get a little salty sweet combination going in there. But I'm trying to now think about like what, outside of apple butter, maybe some sort of like sweet barbecue sauce, like a little sweet heat barbecue.
Yeah. Peanut butter. Peanut butter jelly, maybe. See, the hard thing with brats, with all the brats, is, just the structure of a bratwurst. It's the ground up pork and then all the seasonings and the flavor, whatever, and then inside the casing. So like the jalapeno cheddar, you've actually got like the little like chunks of cheese in there, right. And it's great if you don't cook them too fast and the cheese pocket explodes while it's on the grill. Then you lose that cheese. It's the same thing with that mushroom Swiss. You have to cook them so slow and low to like maintain the integrity of the casing. So you got to have a strong, flavorful casing that you could still, bite through it's got to have some structural integrity, but it can't be too much because then you're talking about eating, like a beef jerky or like a beef link that you that you can't bite through.
Yeah.
But if you can get a casing that is structurally sound, I mean, you could do anything you want. I mean, yeah, I would. It's something like that. Some sort of peanut butter and jelly would be interesting. I don't know if that goes with pork. Maybe. I don't know.
I remember, yeah. Well, I remember Felix's, I think, a couple years ago at the Wing Ding, one of their wings that they won with was a peanut butter jelly sauced wing or something to that effect. And it worked. I think I had a sample of it, and I was like, that worked.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those deals where, like, I don't think we give peanut butter jelly enough credit for what all it can go with to be, like we were talking about with a burger. I think that would actually be a really solid play on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something to, but a brat. Maybe we'll get our marketing department on finding a solid casing for a better brat that we could just start stuffing all sorts of stuff in there and see how it works.
Yeah, I do love tubed meat. I love a tubed sausage link. Yeah, just it's absurd. I would pick that over so many other foods. I'm not even German.
Yeah.
No German at all. Yeah.
It is a very solid food choice. So while you're wiping the saliva off your mouth, and you can start looking up the rest of the submissions that are on your end.
Yeah, I get distracted so easily by sausage. So what's wrong? Instead, I get distracted by sausage. So start with Reddit. The prompts were the same. Had a couple responses. So let's see, Burns win IP. That was the first response. Burns Burnes, so it's a name. Is ready for Blues hockey, and Ole Miss football is in swing. Another of my teams where it's the hope that kills you is tradition. Yeah, that's. Oh man. And then Soles 13 is so ready for hockey to begin. Haven't kept up much with the Blues in the off season, so I'm interested to see how the season goes. Same lengthiness, 5270. The toughest sport to do basic thing is golf. The fall favorite thing in fall is the smell of the air, and the pizza comes in a square box because there's no such thing as a round box. Sounds like lengthiness might be part of that lobbyist group keeping the round boxes out of circulation. So we will ban same lengthiness 5270 from the server, and suspended from South End submissions for 2 weeks.
Yep, that's your punishment.
Dog Pack checking in. What's up, Road Dog? This was a crappy weekend. USA lost. University of Michigan lost. Lions lost. And City's draw sure does feel like a loss. I was supposed to get a newish semi-truck this weekend, but it needs some minor fixes. Unfortunately, I couldn't order parts till Monday. I'm ready to leave this weekend far, far behind. Well, I hope you did that. It's Wednesday now, so I hope so. He thinks hockey is the hardest to do the basic sports, basic skills. You have to learn to skate first, and that doesn't come easy for some of us. The fall favorite is the cooler temps. Football on both sides of the pond are starting, and basketball starts up, and the fun holidays are here. The holidays that's a good shout.
Yep.
Yeah, you got Halloween and then Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday, and then Christmas. And number 3, as a former chef, this is easy for the pizza box. Time, space, and cost. It's quicker to assemble, easier to store, and cheaper to make. Now, that's a perfectly logical answer, Road Dog. It's not what I was looking for. Come on.
Especially the Road Dog. I was expecting.
Yeah, we were hoping for
road answers on that.
Yes,
one.
we need a what answer would a semi truck driver have?
One day he blew a tire and he accidentally grabbed an extra large pizza box and got it confused with his tire, and it just all happened. Like, I want something like that, and they're like, we can't be doing this anymore, so we got to get these pizza boxes square.
I'm going to have to put a disclaimer on all these to keep your logic out of the submissions.
Or he used it as a steering wheel when his steering wheel just wasn't functioning properly.
Yeah,
threw a
man.
pizza box in there and the police were like, "That's
Yeah.
unstable. You can't be doing that."
And then Solez13 did answer all three of the prompts. Rugby, even passing is difficult. I like that one. I love watching rugby, mostly because I don't understand it. It all looks very difficult.
I wish I understood it because it looks so entertaining.
I'm getting close. I think it's just the little subtleties at this point that I don't understand, and maybe like tactics of when to kick versus when not to kick and things like that.
Right.
But I think I got to figure it out. I love watching it. I think I love it because it's so new and kind of a raw thing for me. Love it. The weather is getting cooler. That's the best part about fall. And then see, Solas 13, this is the answer that we wanted, Eric. These are the exact answers we wanted. This is right in line with I think this is right in line with the truth. Okay. The government doesn't want us to use pizzas as frisbees. That's the answer. It's always about the government. The government doesn't want us to have giraffes. They don't want us to use pizzas as pizza boxes as frisbees. Yeah,
they're just looking out at these kids in the park throwing around their pizza boxes, and we gotta put an end to this.
We gotta do something about this. We gotta do something about this. The communists are winning, and we gotta do something about this.
They passed the pizza box law of 1976, and it's never been the same since.
Yep, exactly. Moving over to Discord, I want to go back because there were. Let's see here. I can't remember. I think we had some from last week that I wanted to touch on. Oh, it was from Colton. With the end of the season looming and winter coming with a new sporting director and coach, which is one player from another league that you would please like us to sign? Realistic answers, please. Or even someone from the MLS or another team you think would be a good fit. And then Fando Beth said, am I being realistic if my answer is Edison Cavani? I mean, as a former Man U guy, that would be interesting.
I mean, I think the realism is in the fact that I think we could get him. The problem is he's 39. So, I mean, like, it's the same with the Jamie Vardy talk. It's like, I think we probably could have got him. But, like, where are you going to go with that?
Yeah, I don't know that neither of us are plugged into the realistic like pipeline of players or where they would come from to figure out who we could get. What I would like to see, whoever the sporting director ends up being, I want to see a pipeline from like League One and League Two. I watched a lot of League One and League Two this last weekend because they were still playing. And there are some quality players in those two leagues on relatively low wages that maybe aren't like championship caliber players. Like a lot of the younger guys are going to stay in League One and League Two just because they want to get in the championship, they want to get in the Premier League. But there are a lot of guys that are in their like late 20s, early 30s that are strong pros that on a week-to-week basis are good players that I think would make great MLS players. And I know that he is in the championship right now. He plays for Wrexham. But a guy like Kiefer Moore is an excellent striker. Now, he's a championship level player, but I don't know that he's ever going to be a Premier League level player. And he's an elite championship goal scorer. A guy like that, that would be awesome to me. And a guy like that, just skill levels like that in general, getting into the MLS would make the product better. Not even just on City, because he'd immediately be one of the best goal scorers in the league, to me. So somebody like that, because that's the thing is you're not going to get any of these younger guys because they have aspirations to play in the Premier League, and the Premier League money is so absurd, even for like the average players, that there's no way that it's ever going to happen. So I'd like to see a League One, League Two pipeline. I'd like to see them go after South American players more, Brazilian, Argentinian. That would be great. Yep. But as far as like specific names, I could start throwing people out there. Oh, yeah, this would be great. Like, yeah, that guy would be great. But I don't know how realistic it is.
Yeah, I guess my biggest separation is I don't know what the MLS is looked at now from English standpoint or a French standpoint, or like what do they view the MLS as? Do they see it now as a growing league to where it's like, yeah, I could go over there and be successful, and I look forward to that, or do they still look at it as, oh, those Yanks don't know what they're talking about when it comes to football?
Right.
And so I'm curious to know, with the Messi effect or with some of these other guys that have come over here lately and turn down other offers, like is the view on MLS from that standpoint changed to where then that is maybe a little bit more of a realistic thing for players like that, to where they're like, look, I'm not going to make it to the championship. I just have to understand this now, but I could be a big star over in America and make decent money and, whatever it may be. I think, again, we talked on, it's just the tough point is you're also trying to sell St. Louis. That's, as far as our specific team goes, is going to be the challenge as far as those types of players.
Yeah, agreed. So moving on to this week's from Discord, and that was a great question, by the way. Just no way to be able to commit to any realistic players because I don't know what the goalpost. We don't know what the goalposts are.
Yeah.
Beth said, Fando Beth, the hardest sport to do basic things, downhill skiing. Favorite thing about fall, nice hiking weather. And then the round pizza question, another logical one. Get the logic out of the answers, everybody.
Yeah, we don't.
It's logically easier.
Not logical.
It's logically easier and cheaper to create a square box, and they are more space efficient for storage. See, we don't want efficiency, Beth. We want just flat out silliness. That's what we want. Anarchy.
I've already committed to pizza that night. I'm not worried about efficiency.
Yeah.
That's where my
leave that to the suits in Washington. That's what I say. Amy Murr, anything involving ice skates. Number 2, pumpkin everything and fire pits. Fire pits is a good shout. And number 3, easiest, cheapest space for cardboard to go from totally flat to an assembled storage container. Where are the conspiracy theories? Like, I don't come to No Goal Patrol Discord for logic. I just don't. Man, they bring it so strong almost every week, and I tried to put this one on a tee for them, and they just delivered just logic.
Every week it's hyping up so much about some sort of sci-fi fantasy, whether it's Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, and then when it comes to pizza boxes, then all of a sudden we're thinking logically here.
Like, we love our No Goal Patrol by far, but man, I feel like it was a missed opportunity.
Maybe they're just down a little, guys. Get down to our level here. Dumb it down.
Maybe this is backlash for a week without episodes. That could be what we're facing here. Yeah. Colton, guess the movie from this bad description. let me use Kyle's first because this one's completely different from the others. I don't know. Okay, Kyle's was hang on, I'll have to go back and read it. I think I may have read it out of context. So Kyle, KVK, figure skating or baseball. Number 2, best part about fall autumn was Halloween. Good shout. And see, you can always count on Kyle. Okay, Kyle brought it home here.
Yeah.
The better question is, why aren't all pizzas square? And the correct answer is some of the best pizzas in town are. There you go. I mean, the guy brings it. He's consistent. That's leadership is what that is. That's leadership. So, let's see here. Guess the movie from this bad description. Movie is from the early 2000s. The description is, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. It is not an animated movie.
Put that thing back where it came from.
I don't know, man. We're going to have Colton follow up on this one.
Yeah. I feel like we need he needs to if you don't get it after this hint 1, you get a hint 2. Like, we play a game to see how early you can guess it, but at this point.
So Cadlick's got his combat. This could be Colton's thing. Like, Colton always has good submissions, but if you give bad movie of the week, something like that, this could be Colton's for sure.
Figure the flick with Fetlord.
That is excellent alliteration. Absolutely excellent.
I was trying to pronounce that so hard because with too many F's and CKs in there, that could have went all different directions. So
yeah,
I had to say it slow.
The the English major in me really appreciates that. So good stuff. Well, that unless you have any more, those are.
Yeah, I forgot about Twitter, so I got a couple on
Oh,
here.
okay. I'm sorry.
So we got biologist Ryan came in and said, honestly, then friggin' golf is hard to do basic stuff. I've never had to get a lesson on how to run or throw a ball. Golf, though, it's like, what even is this, and why am I so bad? The ball doesn't even move. You hit it. I could see skating.
The ball does
ice
move.
being up
The
there,
ball does
too.
move sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you're having jello shots and you're on hole 16,
Yeah.
that ball's probably moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
Yeah.
Our buddy Chris from STL Soccer News said, obviously hitting a baseball is widely and correctly considered the toughest thing to do in sports. Nothing else you do correctly 3 out of 10 times. And any other sports gets you in the Hall of Fame. Pizza boxes are round, so they can be made from a single sheet of cardboard with no edge scrapes.
You let us
Logical
down,
answer.
Gebhardt.
Get that out of here, Gebhardt.
Get your
The
logic.
Soccer Dad pod came in with a good one. An Iron Man. He said, we can all swim, we can all ride a bike, and we can all jog. Do it for 140.6 miles.
That
That's
was really
it.
that was really good. That was really good.
Yeah,
I would imagine that
any-
was from JB. That was really good.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Any sort of like conditioned sport,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
marathons or anything, like, yeah, we can all do it, but doing that for whatever period of time is crazy.
Yeah.
St. Louis City SC fan came in and said, besides hiring a new coach, what would be your top 5 or more list of things you'd focus on immediately as a new sporting director?
Top 5.
Top 5. Probably number
Well-
1 is figuring out who I'm keeping.
Yeah.
Who I'm getting,
The
trying
senior
to get
the
rid of.
senior roster.
Senior roster.
Number 2 is the academy for me.
Mm-hmm.
God, there has to be. We have to come up with 5 things.
Scouting department. I think we got to get a better scouting department as far as like branch, like to your
European,
point, branching out
international scouting. Yeah,
just
that's a
in
good
different
shout.
leagues, making connections.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of a sporting director is somebody coming in with connections. So just continuing to broad connections would be a good one.
Training staff. Training staff.
I'm going to say just, I don't know, like, there's been a lot of issues with conflict, it seems like, within the staff. Maybe a staff just dedicated to, like, solving sort of feuds or, like, some sort of, like peacekeeping, training, throw that
I was thinking about for health. I wasn't thinking
Well, no,
about for conflict.
Oh, no, I'm with you on that. Like,
Yeah.
we can't be having this many injuries, too many. So even if it's the same trainings, what are we doing that is with this staff that, like, why? I think one of the things was, hey, let's back it down on Fridays a little bit and not try and, go full 11v11 on that one. Like, yeah, that's up there.
And then revisit how you're using advanced metrics and how you can use that as a tool to make you better. And I think that goes into training. I think that goes into player selection. I think that goes into scouting. I think that's all part of it. Figuring out how to best use metrics to make this club better is the overarching theme here. And you have to have a sporting director that embraces that, and you have to have a coach that embraces it. Now, not to make it like the whole program is only metrics driven, but the fact of the matter is that this is what sports are now. They use metrics to basically plan for everything. So if you're not planning for it, if you're not using it, then you're behind the rest of the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I remember talking with somebody who was inside kind of with the training staff with like Carnell, and she was saying like that was one of the things that works so well with is how open he was to receiving that information. Because the other thing too is a lot of like you still have these old school coaches who are kind of like, we don't need all that type of stuff.
Right.
But if the game's shifting in that way and other teams are using it, you got to use it to your advantage as well. So that's actually a really good point.
Yep.
And then the last one I have here is a couple-parter from our buddy Alan Anani. It said, also last week's game was wild. We had so many shots on target, but only one goal. Coach made a good point about the ball being high and no shots on the ground. Plus, what was Leuven thinking about taking the shot directly at the wall? It meant there were 3 other defenders that we could have gone short and keep the attack quick shot to make the keeper react. And then as far as the answers to the prompts, this is one that I didn't even consider either was, but just, he said NASCAR, they can't get out of the car to use the restroom. They sit in their own filth. Fall, the cooler temperatures, and bonfire s'mores. God, I love a bonfire s'more. And then pizza boxes are square because making a round cardboard box would make it look like a stop sign. I don't want to be told to stop eating pizza. There we go.
This is the answer. This is the only logical answer that I will accept. Is because we don't want to be told when to stop eating. Yes.
Close to a resemblance of an octagon telling me that I should be stopping. I want go, go, go. But auto sports, that's an interesting because, I mean, you could consider driving a basic skill. Doing that,
200 miles an hour.
200 miles per hour in wet conditions and all sorts of stuff like that.
Those guys, after seeing some of the stuff that like F1 drivers go through to train, I'll never say that drivers aren't athletes ever again. Although I wasn't real big in that camp anyway. But that's a really good one. Like, just you take for granted just being able to sit in a 200 mile an hour moving vehicle. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Driving.
Yeah, it's nuts. And then the quick reaction times that they need to have and all that type of stuff. And then the other thing is, like, especially for like F1, they have to maintain like a certain weight. So they can't get above a certain weight because their car it'll affect the car and all that type of stuff. The just logistics that go into that and everything. Like, that's
racing ones are a good shout.
Good shout, and then especially a good shout on the pizza box reason, and that's what I think we're going to stick with going forward, is because we can't be told to stop eating pizza. But honestly, as always, a bunch of great submissions. Truly do appreciate it. Hopefully, I think the problem is since we took that week off, people got a little smarter during that time and lost their sense of non-logic. Hopefully, now that we're back, from here on out, we get
back to the nonsense. Get back to the nonsense.
Our way, but we appreciate everybody sending all those in. Again, that was our Felix's Pizza Pub South End submissions, brought to you by Felix's Pizza Pub. Again, they're a great city on tap bar and a perfect place to go get a nice meal. Check them out at 6401 Clayton Avenue in Dogtown. We kicked off the episode with our STL Kolache preview. That was, again, brought to you by STL Kolache in Sunset Hills. Check them out at 1530 South Kirkwood Road in St. Louis. Our title sponsors of this great show, R2L Wellness. Check them out at 1530 South Kings Highway Boulevard for all your health and wellness needs. And then that swag that you got to have, that customizable gear, go check out Warrior Logo Wear at 12 East Main Street in Mascoutah, Illinois. And then to keep growing the game with those kids, brushing up on their skills or just introducing them to it, you got to check out Elite FT. Check them out at eliteft.com, Elite FT on all their socials. And we will keep up with these submissions, and where you can send in all your submissions on Instagram, we're South End Supporters. Our Twitter and our Reddit is _SES_podcast STL. Make sure you're checking out our Facebook page and our YouTube as well to keep up with all things South End Supporters. But before we get out tonight, I do want to take a quick little second, if you don't mind. Unfortunately, today we said goodbye to somebody who is very close to both David and I. His stepfather, Arch, my wife's stepfather. He was just a great dude. One of those guys that just drops anything at any time, whatever he's doing to help anybody out. Just such a kind soul, very passionate about like his family, and he would always I always loved our conversations because I don't think he was ever like the biggest sports fan, but he always kept up just enough to like anytime I was there, he'd always try to have any sort of conversation. I think soccer was definitely one of the furthest sports from his knowledge, but every time I came over there, he'd still try to keep up with something they did, and it was always funny when he would try to give me like his point of view on what he thinks they need to do, and I just kind of maybe they'll try that out, they should try kicking that ball into the goal a little bit more. Maybe I'll tell him. But he was just such a great dude, and he's just going to be very well missed, and he always asked about the show and how things were going, so definitely keep my mother-in-law Brenda and just David's whole family in their thoughts, because it's definitely going to be a tough time. He will be very, very much missed. So this episode, I know it's not the best episode for us to dedicate to him, but this show here, this episode is dedicated to Arch.
I would just echo, and I've been around your family and David's family now, basically, I mean, for the entirety that, Arch was married to Brenda, and such a wonderful man. And I don't say that lightly. Always a handshake, always a good warm greeting, always a smile. Anecdotally, he was the type of guy that would drop whatever he was doing to go help out the kids or the stepkids. Biggest supporter of the grandkids. There was no delineation between quote-unquote biological grandkids and the step-grandkids. He loved them all the same. He was a great husband to Brenda. He was a great father to his children as well. I got to meet his brother yesterday. Just really, really feel for the loss of such a kind person. And one of those people that, I only knew him through you guys, ancillarily. You know what I mean? I didn't ever really get to have any sort of, deep discussion, but just you learn a lot about somebody when you hear family talk about him and tell their best stories about him. Mm-hmm. So he will be very missed. And, this episode is dedicated to him, but also to all you guys. And Eric, you're included in all that too, because he was just as important a part of your life as he was anybody else's. So we say goodbye to a wonderful man, a great person, father, stepfather, grandfather, all that stuff. He will be very much so missed.
Yes, very, very well said. So this one goes to Arch. So, again, for myself, Eric Cole, for the Monday Morning Center Back, and for our buddy DH who's out tonight, you've been listening to South End Supporters. We'll see you next week. And until then, let's go City.